attitude and that mentality slows us down. It slows us down from being most effective. I'm looking at our YouTube's counter, right? It almost reminds me of when Bob Marley, when he was sick and everything, and he was looking at the newspaper reports, the news reports. And a lot of the news reports were very negative. Some of them were reporting, like almost like he was very sick, or I think even a couple of reports that he had died or whatever before he had went to sleep, before he, spiritually, returned to the ether, as it were, and this was really bothering him a lot. I mean, you know what happened to even Marcus Messiah Garvey? He read a report that he was dead, right, and then he died, because of that. See, that shows the immaturity of the soul. The Babylonian system does not want your soul, right, to be spiritually enlightened. It doesn't mind if you be awake, laying down in your bed, all wrapped up and comfortable. I mean, hey, be awake all you want. Folks are, trying to wake up people. You understand? It's like the alarm clock wake up people. The alarm clock wake up people, and if people can reach that alarm clock and hit that snooze button, they hit that snooze button, and where they go? They go back to sleep. This is what's awakening. Find these false prophets out here on the YouTubes, right? Like we said in the earlier clip, a previous clip, I don't know if we'll be able to post on Ethiopian World Net because, we have to carry our cross. Now they limit us to only 15 or so minutes. We try to squeeze a little bit more out of it, but they try to limit us to 15 minutes because the truth is an offense, but it's not a sin. Remember the verse that we had read in 6:26 of Luke, right, where it says, woe, right, woe to you when all men speak well of you. Folks, they get so twisted because, I can't take these comments. So what they do is they disable the comments. We encourage the comments, actually, even among naysayers, because when your soul is not naked, when your soul is not naked, many of your soul is naked, and your soul in a sense it's like psychic rape, in a sense, where the truth, your truth, not even your truth, but the truth that right, from study, from meditation, from really seeking, asking, seeking, and knocking. If you put up a video and you only get a couple of hits, or 10 or 20 or so hits on it, or a couple of hundred hits, or maybe only a couple hundred to 1,000 hits after a fairly long period of time, and then you look at other folks' videos out there, you understand? And other folks' videos out there get plenty of hits and everything. And a lot of people keep talking about, so-and-so know the truth. So-and-so, you see that video? They got millions of hits out there. That's what I believe. Woe to you when all men speak well of you. For so did their fathers to the false prophets. So did their fathers to the false prophets. And this is the point we want to go a little bit more into right here. Because we said before that when we listen to a lot of these false prophets out there, many of them are Gentile or Gentile-minded Christians, right? And they're talking about what's going to happen and why and history and this. Have you noticed that black people seem to have no real significance in world events or human history, really? When these folks are doing Bible hermeneutics and Bible prophecy and Bible study, that black folks they're just thrown in there for added effect. Isn't this interesting? We said in the previous portion that black people are like the oil, like energy for this Babylonian system. How they drill, how they drill the oil and then they refine it into different products. Some is for fuel, prison industrial complex, like some is fuel. Others is like plastics and all other kind of stuff. They make products out of these lost sheeple, out of these Negroes and everything like that. But once they can remove, and this they've successfully done, once they can remove black people, right, black people from Bible prophecy, right, then they can sell people on anything like this right here. For example, I think this is just so very, very clear. White marble, right? Black flesh. You check that out right there. We call this image right here Yeshua Jesus, right? We call this one Black Christ versus White Caesar. Haven't done a presentation specifically on this, but many of you know we've addressed this particular point, right? And as we start to get more into this particular point, seeing its scriptural, biblical, prophetic significance, we started to notice that only the real core people, only really core brothers and sisters be checking out the videos. You understand? Be liking the videos and favoring the videos and giving good comment, and then we kind of know them also because they let us know when, you know, they communicate, oh, I'm so-and-so on YouTube, so forth and so on, right? And as we mentioned earlier, when we first started to broadcast on YouTube's, right, we were, like I guess so many of y'all are, you know, adversely affected, you know, by likes and dislikes, you know, by how many hits on there. How come? Okay, let's add some more tags to it. Let's do some more controversial stuff or some more kind of even obnoxious stuff to get attention, you know, attention grabbers. You know, that's why you have people posting their ass, you know, posting their body parts to get attention. Oh, really? Ooh, you look, ooh. See, there's a whole psyops. You see, and they don't teach you. They don't teach you. And I'm not going to just talk about what they don't teach you. They really don't teach you anything. It's a psychic manipulation. It's a psychic manipulation. I was about to say pure, but it's not any purity to it. It's impurity. Simply impure. Psychological manipulation. What is your soul? Your soul is the seat in your. How can we say this for people who are so materialistic? You understand? That's why they say they have no God but Caesar, because you see the white marble seems much stronger than the black flesh. The whitewash seems so much stronger than the black truth. And the more you start dealing with that truth, you understand? This is why a lot of the prosperity pimps and pastors and preachers out there don't talk about any real issues, right? Don't even really, see, if you are a part of a real church, you should really never have a resort to a psychologist or a psychiatrist in that sense. You understand? Or be caught up on these psychoactive, mentally altering, soul-altering drugs and everything, basically sorcery, right? But because the church has not been doing its proper job, and I know we've been offending them on everything from Martin Lucifer King, you know what I mean, to whether it's the Obama or whatever like that. You know, the truth is an offense, but it's not a sin. This is why it's so important when we say right here, let's move this over here. So once they're able to remove black people out of the equation, right? Once they're able to move black people, and this is so interesting, haven't you noticed when you're watching these Christian I mean, even some of these movies like Left Behind, oh yeah, they'll put Louis Gossett Jr. and so forth and so on. They'll put a couple of black people in there, you know, as kind of third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, whatever wheels and everything. So you won't say, oh, that's racist. There was no black people in it, so forth and so on. Now they put black people everywhere, you know, in the media, because this is part of their end time deception. But they don't put us where we truly are, and that's in biblical prophecy. They don't put black people in biblical prophecy. Not put them in there, but they don't see them. They are blind to the fact. They are blind as Babylonians, blind as Babylonians to that particular fact. Isn't that interesting? When they talk about what is happening now and God's purpose for humanity, black people are just like anybody else. But in the reality of the world, you see black people are the energy. They're like the oil. You understand? They're like the fuel. You understand? For society, just like the crude oil. The crude oil is the nigger. The nigger is the crude oil. Now, this particular vid, somebody gonna find it offensive, like the other video that they, pulled down, right? And our account got all into this sort of situation because we say that the black man's problem is not a white man's problem, but it's a God problem. Right? It's a God problem. And because it was so effective and so many people started to talk on it and start to shake that Babylonian mindset, that paradigm, it caused instability in their matrix. They had to pull it down. And we've noticed ever since that particular time that if we are overt, you see what I'm saying? Because some of our brothers and sisters have been covert in putting up our videos and, you know, kind of here and there, and they still get, you know, pretty good reception here and there, but because we are these ones who are putting out the truth in such a clear way and not like the false prophets. You see, so brothers and sisters, right, Rastafari said, beware of these false Christian prophets out there that don't say anything about black people in the whole equation of things. And it's so very, you know, it's so very obvious that black people have a strong role to play in real society. So you mean God, the God of the Bible, doesn't say anything about his black people, right? Doesn't say anything about his black people, right? And then when we are showing and proving that Yeshua HaMashiach, that Jesus Christ is a black man, I mean, who's the biggest one to basically deny it? It's those same crude Negro oil, the crude oil Negroes, right? You know, in other words, they're like the crude oil. They're refined. They are burnt as fuel. Prison industrial complex, military industrial complex. They are used and abused and like hell, and then found dead hanging in a cell, jail cell. What's that old hip hop song, something to that effect? I might have mashed up the lyrics right there. But beware of these false prophets and those false prophets out there. And brothers and sisters, don't become so twisted if you put out a video and you don't get that many hits. Now, of course, still, you know, in meditating this point, because it took us a while to really get to the root of this even in ourselves. You see what I'm saying? To the point that, you know, we caught ourselves at a couple of times, almost not one, like our will was affected. That aspect of our soul, our will, was adversely affected because we began to believe the lie. You understand that the thing that legitimizes whether we're saying the truth or not is whether a bunch of ignorant, spiritually ignorant, right, people out there, lost people out there, agree with it or not. The reason why they don't agree with it, like when Christ says, why doesn't anyone want to come to the light? So that the dirty deeds, they don't want their dirty deeds to be exposed, right? So, of course, if you are ministering the truth, right, and you're not like some of these people out there who are ministering the truth, but they're a little bit clownish, you know, so it's kind of like an entertainment truth in a sense. You know what I mean? So people can laugh, and when, you know, when you laugh, you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of feel good kind of truth. But it says, woe to you when all men shall speak well of you. So if you're getting negative comments and putting out the truth, remember this right here, Luke 6:26. Woe to you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. See, their fathers did the same thing with the false prophets. So you'll notice that a lot of the false prophets out there, right, you know, a lot of the false prophets out there, you know, they got a bunch of people who thumbs it up, who like it, you understand, who watch the video repeatedly and show all their friends and link them, so forth and so on. We're not in a competition like that. In fact, one more statement, I'm so happy I remembered it, the Holy Spirit reminded me of it, that the kingdom of heaven does not come by observation. Right? The kingdom of heaven does not come by observation. You know what I mean? So if you think that, well, the more people who see a video, it means more people who now have really, truly, spiritually been born again, or really have so-called, quote, woken up. You understand? You believe in a lie, brothers and sisters. Carry your cross, but remember what the color of the cross really is. See, the color of the cross is that blackness right there. That's the color of the cross. Now, you see, some folks will say, oh, but that's being racist. Well, it's not us being racist. You understand? It's not us being racist. You know, I mean, if you really know the truth of the matter. You know, it's almost like a woman being raped, and then the woman, or attempted rape, and then the woman decides to fight back, and she really brutalizes the rapist. And then they charging her with brutality to the one who was attempting to rape her. You understand? This is the very same kind of situation with us, brothers and sisters, as black people. The truth is an offense, but it is not a sin. Shalom, Rastafari.